And we are back with another Group A best of 3. We have had some lengthy matchups already today, and we could have another one just over the horizon. My name is Dolson Heartbreaker, back fresh off of a couple 3-game sets. I've been putting you to work here today.
It's been grueling. I'm not going to lie. I didn't expect to work so hard so quickly.
Yeah, we threw you to the wolves here. You got a best of 3 that went near the 1 point shy, I think, of all possible points, and then like a couple points shy on our second best of 3.
Yeah.
But hey, the RCCS is living up to its billing here so far. Competitive road company, to be sure. We had that one matchup just now in Pool B. That was Rome's Bandits up against Valor's GG. We will bounce back into a Pool A matchup. Right Turtle up against Arial Rise. So we already saw Arial Rise play earlier on today. Again, one of the very competitive back and forth best of 3s that we already got to spectate. And this is a team heartbreaker. I think a lot of us and people at home have slated for a decent tournament run.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, Arial Rise is a team that coming into this, it was basically like if Arial Rise can perform across all players, they're going to be able to do this. And when Nash stepped it up, and those last couple of rounds, when he stepped it with that DMR, and I was like, oh, no, he's really here on land right now. He's putting up. That is where it clicked for me. Because I'll admit, I was a little shaky on him at first. And then he got to that point, and I was just like, okay, if they play like this, if Nash is hitting these shots, it's going to happen. They have a real shot, but Right Turtle is really good. There's no way to overlook Right Turtle. Yeah,
Right Turtle. Look, all right, so now I get to age myself a little bit here. So Prosper on this Right Turtle team, I got my start commentating with Hi-Rez, as Windward is our first map pick here. Glacier Breach banned out, Wanted and High Castle both banned out on the flip side. But I know Prosper back from the Paladins days when I started casting, so it's awesome to see him here playing. Windward first map, though. What are some expected styles of picks here to see banned out? I suppose Sigrid. The easy answer to that, but what type of map do you see Windward? What type of rogues do you see this map catering to?
Yeah, so the 2 bans that they've done are very expected. Nobody wants to go into Lancer most of the time. And Sigurd, that's P-Story's pick. As we talked about, or the Desk talked about earlier, that's definitely one that you don't want him to be playing on. You're going to see the Sniper out in this, or the DMR. Fixer is basically a given. The respawn coming from Prosper, that's going to be Dahlia. He loves Dahlia. It's his bread and butter. On the flip side, though, it's the Glimpse. You see a lot of Glimpse because the way that the lanes work on Windward, she can get so much information and take so much ground that she can easily get through all the little choke points on her own and cause havoc. So, I mean, this is a map where when you see picks most of the time, you're like, this is exactly expected. Now, if EMAS swaps to a Chalk, we've seen it all day. We've seen it all day when it comes to the Chalk, but the Glimpse is still out there on the other side for Nash.
Yeah, the big difference is Glimpse for Nash. You got a Fixer on the other side. Windward, game number 1 in this best of 3, kicking off.
Dolson Heartbreaker, thank you very much. I am Ratha, joined once again with Captain Atsoka as we get into this Windward match. I am very, very excited about this map. It's the first time seeing Windward here today, and these 2 teams are absolute titans going into this. We have some of the best fraggers in Rogue Company. MS, we have Drew. I'm super excited to get into this. What are your initial thoughts as we load up into Windward and we get these teams going?
Okay, my first initial thought, just off the back, I'm thinking already that Arial Rise is going to have an advantage going into this because they've already played today, and they played one of the most impressive games. So they are more than warmed up. They are more than ready, whereas we've seen from Turtle, you know, they were kind of sitting on the side. They might have gotten a little numb in the thumb, so they're going to have to really step up to this already warmed up top contending teams that is Arial Rise.
Yeah, and as we see straight off the bat, our defensive team here in Arial Rise have moved aggressively to push down that market side and that church side there as they're now going for some shots. They're actually just going to just run down here and try and get this pick up on Drew. Drew throws the smoke, tries to get away from it, but it will be Joker picking up the kill. A really aggressive first play coming up from Arial Rise, and I like to see that. There's no res available. Dahlia is linked on to the Chark on MS. And now MS and Prosper just have to try and stay alive in this 2v3. They have the bomb down. They kind of have a little bit of an advantage. If they play well together with the Dahlia res and the Charcoal, they might be able to make something happen, but we'll see as they move through here. Oh, gets spotted out there. EMS going to get in trouble. He does pop the ult. He's trying to stay alive. Managed to stay alive for a couple more seconds. They tried the push and didn't get it. It's in fact going to be P-Story going down first. It was Prosper Logic gets 2 picks there. It's looking really rough here, and that's going to be Prosper Logic taking down a 3-piece. Look how hype he is getting there in the cam. He is buzzing. They're standing. They're high-fiving. They are feeling themselves, as that was pretty much a nearly unwinnable situation for them.
It really was. It was a 3v2 turnaround, and you could already see we have not one but 2 pop-offs, and we got MS saying, hey, that was a little mid, that was a little so-so. But it was crazy because they got the elimination on the Fixer so early, and were able to get that 3v2 advantage, but then we were able to see Prosper really come in clutch, really getting that push going forward with the Chalk, trying to take that 2v1, and then they managed to come out on top. They did a really, really good job. They did well to hold off that 2v1 scenario and really switch things up. And again, just a really clutch play, starting off from Turtle, Prosper, and company as we get ready to head into round number 2. And round number 2 already underway with some crossfire coming down from the mid lane as we see Joker and, of course, the rest still holding their positions, not giving anything away just yet.
And you see they've gone for a very similar strategy, but has not been fallen for by Right Turtle here. They moved quicker. They didn't get caught out. In fact, we have Drew just sitting in a bit of a better position. This is a very good spot to watch mid and that crossover from the people rushing through the market. And now as he crosses, and they're going to try and get the bomb down, I think, as they move through here. They don't know where the enemies are. Does pop the smoke. Now they know where they are. This is going to be a rush plan, I'm imagining, from MS as Drew tries to stay alive this time, and he does just about make it, but he's now in a 1v1 with a Shark with a lot of health, and he will go down. Now it's Shark v Shark as MS takes down Joker, and we are sitting in a 2 versus 2. MS just trying to stay alive, will go down to the might of that Hydra being picked up by NashX, and now a 2v1. Prosper getting the pick off into the Dahlia, and we're in a 1v1 here. Nash staying invisible as the push is coming down. Prosper v Nash, no bullets in the gun for Nash, and Nash going down as Prosper dances his way, and he says, what are you guys doing? This is my game. Prosper getting so many of the downs so far this match. Absolutely just putting on a big performance. You said, hey, they might be a little cold, going into this. It doesn't look that cold to me. They look like they are ready as we get into this replay.
Yeah, and we can see it right there clearly, with the Chalk v Chalk action going on, both popping their ults, even though that we saw, the last elimination was really reserved on their ultimate. And then this here, I think, was a little bit of a mishap. Glimpse went invisible, and I think they could have held it for a little while, maybe even kind of reevaluated the situation and came at it at a different perspective. But ultimately, they tried to push, and they pushed a little bit too hard against Prosper, and Prosper came with the punishment. So we see a 2-0 lead over Arial Arise in favor, of course, Prosper and company as we head into round number 3.
Yeah, Right Turtle doing a really good job here, now pushing it all together as 3 people, now expecting that flank coming out early from Arial Rise. Drew doesn't want to get picked off, put in a bad position. He is actually one of their best gunners. In terms of that Deadeye, he uses that really consistently. He's actually using the full body right now, which makes me much, much happier as they go for a straight-up plant. They knew what the strategy was, and they got down there so quickly. And as we see, Arial Rise doing the same thing. Unfortunately, they 3-man flanked, and they didn't get anything to come out of it. 7-1 body coming out there from Drew.
Now, you see, I like what we're seeing with Drew here. Drew opted out just to go for the whole LR-15 sniper. They're not going out for that DMR, which, honestly, we've been seeing a lot with the Fixer picks. They're going for that full sniper. They're going for all the damage and for all the crits, as we can see a DMR coming out from Dahlia there, as now the smoke will get popped, and so will the Fixer ult, getting that vision down, laying down a whole lot of fire, dealing a whole lot of damage, but not getting any knocks. Oh, well, Turtle and Prospect now getting pushed all the way back, and that will be a 3-player sweep and an easy defuse coming from Arial Arise, and it will be Joker to wave right back.
I mean, that was a much better round there, obviously, from Arial Rise. They played together better. They utilized the Fixer smoke against it. Drew got some shots off, and for a moment there, I thought, hey, this is what happens when you let Drew live. He got in some really good shots. They get a good down there initially, but they weren't able to capitalize too much off of it there on that post-plant setup all the way back there in the defensive spawn. But that was a good push there from Arial Rise. I liked what they did. I like how they stuck together and used their own ability there, because they don't have a Fixer, which means Drew has a lot of advantage in that smoke. Didn't quite mess there. They got an early pick onto MS. The res didn't go off, and then they were playing a 3v2 pretty comfortably. Prosper, I felt bad for him. He hit a lot of bullets through smoke there, got some really good shots off, needed one more bullet to get another down, wasn't quite able to hit it. But here we are once again in this straight 3v3, sticking mostly to the B side. Our defenders, as they push up aggressive, and our attackers are pushing aggressive there onto A. We have Nash sitting a little bit further back this time, trying to get a bit of crossfire, get some intel, and he does see, I believe, at least 2 members. I'm sure Drew is somewhat close by as well.
Yeah, and you can see this should be a pretty solid plant coming out from Arial Arise. But now we can see Drew there towards the back, trying to get a good eye on somebody so that way they can try and get a read and possibly get this elimination on Joker. And there it is! Already we see Drew lining up those shots and putting that sniper to use.
Absolutely. That's a really great snipe. That's actually his second one this round. Wait for him to get back up. We knocked him down again after the Dahlia res came out. It does seem like Dahlia got another res once again on him. As the nades come down, he's going to try and trade that. It will not be MS taking him down. There'll be Joker winning that fight there, and the res will not be available. Now we've got Dahlia Fixer versus Dahlia Chuck. Snipe comes down from Drew, just about misses by a hair on the head, but great crossfire coming in from Prosper. Prosper in such good positions, always, as he hip-fires, takes down the last one. I will say, so far in just the first 4 rounds here at Zoka, Prosper's positioning and cover fire of his teammates has been near perfect. He's just got such good map awareness, and in terms of the team structure, this is absolutely... Okay, I want to see the snipe again. Just gets him running down the stairs. You're not taking this zip on me. Nade comes down from Prosper. They finish off Nash there. I love that play. I thought it was really, really well played by them. And of course, you've got Prosper here, sitting there, goes to the pre-fire, covers his teammate, and then they're able to get the win nice and easily. But what I will say is, I just love the crossfire that's coming out from Prosper. He is the IGO of the team. He's got 2 great gunners in Drew and MS next to him. And he's just trying to keep them together, keep them alive so they can do their job, and he can keep them flowing as well.
Well, they got a nice, comfortable 3-1 lead over Arial Arise, and they are still on the offensive side as they get ready to go into this round number 5. And we can already see Arial going to be hiding right there on the A site behind that tree, and I'm pretty sure Drew knows what's up. Tries to get a shot down sight, but will not be able to land it, and now has a little bit of trouble here as Drew will get knocked coming from the opposing Chalk, but they will not go down alone. Of course, we are seeing Prosper being able to take one down as well as we end up in a 2v2 scenario, but the res is still possible on that Dahlia.
Absolutely, and actually does just come through there. Prosper try to get that knock, try to give the team a bit of time, and does allow for a bit of a recovery, stops them hard pushing and finishing up after they got Drew killed. But Drew, once again, just gets picked off in the back there. It seems that Arial Rise going for the same strategy every single time here on this Windward market side, as it's going to be a 1v1, but EMS will go down to the invisibility of that glimpse, and as Prosper tries to get some cover fire, he's at 1v3, gets some good damage, but will he be able to get this? Gets one, that's one, the res is coming down. Prosper stuck in a corner, Sniper aimed at him, Sniper hits him down as Joker waves once again and says, hey, if I pick up Drew's Sniper, bing bang bong, headshot galore, he's gonna get that one right there.
And Joker knows this is their second time in the booth today. They know exactly where the camera is.
Yep.
A nice little wave to the team and a hello to the crowd. You gotta love it. And not only that, but it was Joker picking up the sniper from the enemy fixer and then using that weapon against him. Not only that, but returning the favor of the previous headshot.
Yep.
That right there, mwah, just poetry as we get ready to head into this round number 6. Still a 3v2 lead in favor of Turtle and company, of the Turtle squad.
Yeah, Right Turtle definitely there up ahead. There's some good starting rounds. And played well off it, and we'll see how they play off this a little bit further. I actually really do like the way Arial Rise are playing this with the aggression. I think they might have decided to change it up this time, or at least Drew is sitting back here waiting for it in case it comes. And now he's pushing up a little bit further. He's going to see what's going on. Doesn't see anyone in that corner just yet, as Prosper is taken pretty low by Nash there, who's using pretty heavy weapons. Now switched to the Sahara, but he was using the Hydra at one point. Good covering fire coming down just to keep every member alive just for now. And it's going to be, I said, 3v3. Everyone's still up. Looks like they're moving towards the A side, but Drew does have position here on B side for anything shifty happening. Oh, wait, we've got Joker right there. Joker getting killed right here. Is going for EMS, is going to try and finish him in time, and we'll get that. Prosper not able to push up any further. Nash now coming through the mid, and this is about to be a dogfight coming in right here. We're going to see who's going to come out ahead of it, as that will be Drew going down as he pushes through mid, and it's just left to poor Prosper once again to stay alive against the onslaught of Arial Rise, as this 3-2 may be looking like a 3-3.
Yeah, this is not looking too good right now for Prosper. They know they are in a tough situation. Look at the concentration and focus on Prosper's face. They know that this more than likely will not end in their favor, as we can see the full retreat coming from Prosper as they're trying to make their way back around, but still has a little bit to work with. You can see they're still holding on to that nade. Will and probably can use it in the right given moment, but they are going to opt out to try and retreat and possibly rotate all the way back around as they try and find a read onto this bomb, so that way they can probably salvage any type of econ, maybe with a possible elimination, but they are running out of time. Now with only the final 5 seconds, there's that util, there's the nade. It will come out, but it will not connect as the fight will end, but they will be going down with a little chunk of change. They were able to get that last elimination and take some econ to the next round.
As they wave more friendly over this time. Hey, good job, guys. You know, you played the word. Now we're going 3-3 into the half, as you said. Even Stevens as they switch sides. Now going to have Right Turtle on the defensive side. And I wonder whether they're going to adopt a similar aggressive play style that we saw from RCCS, who, I haven't seen that kind of level of aggression in a long time in Rogue Company Windward defense. So I'm interested to see how the picks change here and how they decide to go forward with this from both RCCS and RightTail as we're looking now at the Rogue selects. And yeah, I'm interested to see exactly what is going to be picked up here. Trench is being semi-hovered. Look like Peace Story once again going to go with the Dahlia potentially. We'll see if he locks this in or not. He said we'll see what the whole comp is. Joker once again hovering the chalk. So this seems like a fairly similar comp coming up from RCCS. You know, exact same rogues. They seem to be working well with it. I really like the way they changed it up on that last play there. And looks like at least the Dahlia and Glimpse are going to be locked in. We'll see if the chalk gets locked in as well. And looks like
Let's get this done.
Is. And on the flip side, we have got Drew on the Ronin this time. Put the Fixer away. Didn't feel like he was getting as much value out of that. Emes on the Glimpse, which I know he loves. He's been talking about that for a while. And then Dahlia once again picked up by Prosper, who was doing work on that Dahlia. So I really respect that choice specifically. And we'll see how this goes getting in to the second half of this Windward map. Game 1.
Now you see on the side of Arial Arise, I like that Ronin pick. When you're coming into this one, especially on this map, and you're trying to play a little bit more aggressive, which we know Arial Arise love to do. They like to play aggressive. That Ronin dagger can come in clutch so many times. So I'm expecting to see something really spectacular come out as we get ready to get into this one. As already we see them all in position right there and waiting there at the mid. Already Joker giving away their location. And now they are starting to make movements. They saw that that Joker was making their way towards A, so now they are starting to get their eyes on that A spot to watch for the bomb, which will now be planted right there on the A spot. And there you have it. The first knock will come through on Joker.
Yeah, good pick there by Prosper, along with the nade to cover and fires. They're trying to push up, the res will go off. And now we're in a 3v3, but a little bit of momentum on the side of RightTail as Joker takes down Drew in a full kill right there. The nade almost takes down Peace Story, but he will stay alive just a little bit longer. And now we're in a 2v3 with Emerson Prosper. We saw this at the start of the first half of this match. Emerson Prosper 2v3, and they won it. Difference is they have to go for a defuse this time, which means they have to make the aggressive play, and we'll see how that turns out as Prosper's already taken low. It's down to MS to cover him, who's also now taken down to half HP.
Yeah, they are seeking cover, and they are just playing the head game with the other team right now. A little bit of a peekaboo match between these two teams. As we can see, the 3v2 advantage will not be wasted. They will be taking this round, and a good round indeed, as we can see the lead now going 4-3.
Yep, RCCS going up by 1 round here after a very good attack. And the difference that we saw there was RightTail went for a very defensive playstyle. They did not rush forward like RCCS did on their defense. They stayed back, they played positions, let them get the planet. We're planning for a retake. Fortunately, Drew got picked there on his Ronin. But the idea of the Ronin-Dahlia combo here, I kind of like. They expected Nash, I think, to go Glimpse or one of his other signatures of Talon. And so they countered the intel from that. Obviously, Glimpse passive, which pings out people nearby, doesn't work against Ronin or Dahlia, which means there's 2/3 of the team that cannot be revealed by that passive. So I do like the combo there, especially in a big map like Windward where intel can be so valuable. I like what they went for there, but as I said, standard on the other side of RCCS, went for the Dahlia Chark combo, keep that Chark alive, let him make aggressive plays as they push a little bit further up this time. Drew, you see, going for a peek there, trying to get some good damage off. And Peace Story, I will say, has a pistol still, so I'm going to assume he bought a lifeline as his perk after winning that round, meaning he has a very fast res available to him for that Chark should Joker go down on an aggressive play.
Oh, absolutely, 100%, and I do not blame them whatsoever. It's also pretty much part of the meta. You know, this is something that we expect, especially when you see the Dahlia come out. Like I said earlier, I'm more of a Dahlia fan over a lifeline, so seeing that link come out and used on the Chalk, I am not surprised. That was the right call to make, as we can see the Chalk ult will be popped already for Joker, and so the nades will begin to fly. One lands, and Chalk, the Joker here, is going to be taking at least half of their health gone, but is able to regain it very quickly, but will not regain anything coming off of that Ronin dagger, but it still is not enough to knock Joker.
This is Util City onto Joker. Drew didn't have a heal. Okay, Emmett just about picks that up finally there as he gets traded out as well. That Chark got Util'd so hard, and the res comes through, but he will get dropped. Drew went crazy that round, just headshot after headshot. Wow. He just held that corner and they peeked into him. He didn't even have to move. Crosshair stayed still. Enemies' heads went, hey, hi, 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 and down they went.
Not to mention, Drew was the one that got the initial knock on the Chalk with the Ronin dagger. So already that was Drew's game. That was entirely all Drew all day. Getting that initial knock on the Chalk, and then let's watch the lineup for the headshots. And there we can see already Nash there hiding along the side and then getting yet another elimination, not just on the Chalk, on Joker, but on the Dahlia as well. And Dahlia had already wasted the link there with the res, came through on the Chalk, and they got knocked down again anyway. So even in that match, Drew had 4 knocks on the board with only 3 players in the match. That is outstanding.
Absolutely, and you saw the value that P-Story had by getting that lifeline. He did get a bunch of reses off onto the Chalk. Unfortunately, it didn't quite matter. But in a different situation and a few different seconds of different time, those reses could have been so valuable to win the round after those initial great picks on Drew. Drew just happened to get the clutch up that time, which was very well deserved. His aim was on point, his util was on point, and that's what I like to see from our youngest player here at LAN. Little demon on the sticks, as he's always referred to.
Absolutely, and now we can see MS now going to be waiting towards the B side, at least watching that left lane there, and completely invis camouflage. And we can see Joker once again trying to make that initial push, but they will receive a whole lot of damage coming from that glimpse. They know, they are aware now, and now they're not going to make that push. They're going to start to slow things down as they gain a little bit more intel.
Oh, nice little peek here. Is going to be a secure kill. MS onto P-Story. But I don't know if we saw it. Nash is actually really far at the back of the map last time we checked on a flank. So unfortunately, his teammates have gone down, and he's initiated the flank. But good pickups there from MS. Gets 2 picks nice and easily, and then Nash is just left at the back of the map like, I'm going to try and help you, try and give you some covering fire, but you've gone down too quickly. And that is the risk of flanking here in Rogue Company, is sometimes it can be the play that wins you the round, and sometimes if your teammates die just a little bit too quickly at Soka, it's game over and you're just left in a 1v3, as we've seen so many times here across the tournament today, but across Rogue Company in history.
I like what we're seeing from the Turtle team, the Turtle squad, if you will. We're seeing each player pop off every other match or so. First, in the very beginning, we saw Prosper go to work and really pop off in a major way. Then Drew, out of nowhere, coming in, chaining headshots, and now MS coming in to clean up with the glimpse. So again, we're seeing every single one of these players really take a round for themselves and get on the highlight reel as we head into round number 10. And we can see the push coming through from Nash. So remember, Nash, of course, one of the biggest fraggers coming out the side from Arial, and not only that, but also their IGL.
No, absolutely. He is the DMR demon. He is insane with the DMR. We saw him use it basically like an SMG. He turns DMR single shots into these just rapid fire headshot weapons. As they now go for the push, Joker gets taken quite low, but he still has his overheal Shark health available. He is pushing forward, but Prosper gets the shots off and he will knock him down. Nash gets during the trade that we can see from the kill feed, and it is a 1 versus 2. Now a 2 versus 2 as the reses do come down. Dada Glimpse versus Dada Glimpse. MS is taken down. It's down to Prosper once again to try and get a 1v2 off there.
I'm sorry, but we've seen it time and time again, and now, once again, we see that lone Dahlia trying to chain those headshots using that DMR, and we've already seen time and time again today how dangerous that weapon is in the right hands. All it takes is for them to land their right shots, and now you can see they are guarding that bomb, and they are doing it well, but Glimpse will come through and sneak away with it.
Yeah, absolutely. Got the bomb, just snuck in there with that invisibility. Not much Prosper could really do in that situation. Tries the bait going somewhere else, but they are going to go for the straight plant there. Now Prosper's left to try and push a 1v2. He does have the immunity from Glimpse's radar, has that available because he's linked to Ronin, so he can make a little play like this, but it's going to be so rough as he moves in here. He's probably going to peek around this corner and have to deal with the onslaught from somebody. You know, Glimpse is holding that corner. Nashek's right there, holding that corner as deep as possible. Heard him roll out onto long, and now he's got to try and do something. He's get shot down, 21 HP. What's going to happen? He's got such a hard push here, and as long as RCCS don't do anything too aggressive, he'll be fine. And Nash not even moving, just watching the angle, like, hey, here it is, as he tries to stay alive. Prosper, probably not going to get much out of this round. Maybe looking at a 5-5 here, Captain Ahsoka.
It's starting to look that way. I mean, best case scenario right now for Prosper, they get one more knock, one more elimination, maybe take a little econ on the road, but as you can see, they will be knocked and dealt with quickly, as again, we can see a much more even score line here as we begin to move further on into the round as we head into round number 11.
Honestly, going into this, I had my predictions going forward for a pretty one-sided battle here on Windward for Right Turtle, but what I liked is just the sheer aggression coming out from RCCS has made this a lot closer than I thought it was going to be. They are fighting each other much stronger. They are getting trades. They're covering firing each other, and there's always trades going on no matter what. We're not seeing people left in a 3v1 very often. It's mostly, okay, one person goes down, one person for the enemy team goes down. Okay, you're down, it's 2v1 at worst case scenario. And hey, the thing I like about 2v1s, Captain Soka, they're nice to clutch up. They make for good highlight reels, and I hope we can see some more of them come out as this 5-5 continues. 2 rounds in it to win it for either team, and we'll see who's able to clutch up and take this to the match point advantage after this round.
Yeah, and we've already seen MS pop off before, right in the same exact location. A little deja vu, literally the same play. They go invis, they go camo, and then they run back to the cart, taking cover and living to fight another day. As we can see Joker trying to sneak around with the bomb. As you can see, they are pushing that mid lane. They already know where the glimpse is. The glimpse has been in the same spot, but now you got some more intel on who is up and away above on the stairs, so they know at least 2 players on the side of Arial is going to be in that mid lane, and that's the safe for both teams because now they know where the Turtle Squad is as well. They know that MS is going to be around that cart in the mid lane, and there comes the knock
Semtex.
as the Semtex will get not 1 but 2 knocks there, and that will be a 3 up, 3 down for Right Turtle.
And you said it, hey, EMS is making the same sort of play. You know, he's peeking out, he's rolling back, going to cart, using his invis. What did we see last time he did that? He got a 2-piece. What did we see this time? Got another 2-piece, this time happening with the Semtex. A nice, well-placed Semtex to find 2 in that situation. And you see, he's taking a breath here. He's like, knows, okay, there's 1 more round in it. Let's just focus up. Let's just stay together. And I just noticed Drew's mic is very high up on his head. Yeah, I know he can get kind of loud, so maybe he had to pull that one just a little bit further away as the passion comes through on these plays. We got him on the Ronin, got Dade linked to him, and we got EMS there on the glimpse as they're scrolling down here, flying down from the plane into their positions. And we'll see how this potential final round happens. Remember, if Right Turtle win this, they win the map. If not, we're going to another 6-6 that we've seen all day here at the RCCS Day 1.
Yeah, and I won't even be mad at it already. Again, Prosper, like we said with MS, running to that same position, they already know they're watching down the mid lane. They got a little intel to work with, so now they realize that they can see more of a push going towards that A site, and already we see Prosper aiming down sights, looking to get those dings, and who is there creeping along? It is Drew, and we've seen Drew already get some nice shots in, but so it's interesting to see how they are now going to make the push with this Ronin pick, and they have been oh so sneaky as the first knock will come through on MS, who will hit the dirt, and now it is Drew's turn. Is once again Prosper, the lone gunman coming from Right Turtle, is in a 1v3 scenario.
Yeah, I think it came down to a little bit of miscommunication there. I think they had Nash trapped, and they potentially could have gone for that kill, but the positioning wasn't quite there. I think the way they had it in their head, and that would lead to the unfortunate Drew going down, EMS going down, and Prosper left in this 1v3 as he tries to pick up Nash there, but that would be the nice Sahara taking down the win as we go 6-6 in our first map. Have we seen this before? Yes. Yes, we have seen this before. 6-6, 1 round in it for either team to take the W here on the first map. We'll see exactly how this works as we go.
Now you see Arial Arise has been here before this. Again, some deja vu coming through. It is the 6-6 even scoreline the last time that they were in this scenario. Who can forget the highlight reel trade of the day? And it fell in the favor of Arial Arise. So they're used to this type of pressure. They know what to expect going into this one. But can Right Turtle rise to the occasion? Remember, going in, I thought Arial Arise had the clear advantage. Clearly, Captain was capping, completely mistaken, as we have seen Right Turtle really pop off, but now this is going to be their game to win, to make a statement not just to Arial Arise, but to every other team, that this team is a top contender.
And you can see here, what's happened is, Right Turtle have adopted the same strategy that Arial Rise did and caught them off so well for. We've got Drew sitting back here as 2 members go for an instant flank, and now they're pinched. Anybody left here on the site, they go covering fire. So much damage. Prosper gets flashed, but still picks up 1 as P-Story takes down MS, and it's a 1-for-1 trade right now. We need to see him go for this res, but they will secure the full kill before he can. And Prosper just shooting over as Drew finds 1 with a crossfire. That'll be Nash taking down Drew, and Prosper in a 1v1 takes him down, but no, Prosper falls. And that will be a nice finish up 6-7 for Arial Arise as they take map 1 here on Windward. That was an intense one, Captain Soka.
I mean, honestly, which map so far hasn't been an intense one?
True,
And again, Arial Arise, this is something they're familiar with. And again, I will admit, I slept on Right Turtle in the beginning. I didn't think they were going to take it that far, but at the end of the day, it was Arial Arise, and honestly, I think it was from their previous match. where they kept going 6-6 every round, that gave them the competitive edge going into this matchup because, like we said, unfortunately for Right Turtle, they were sitting on the side for a little while. You know, they got to watch, they got to see, they got to learn, but they weren't on the sticks. So I think that's kind of what inhibited them going into that one. But now that they're warmed up and they're ready to go, they're going to be coming back next round, and I think they're going to do a much better job.
Absolutely, of course, it's the best of 3, so we can't count them out yet. We have potentially 2 more maps coming up, but there'll be RCCS going 1 up. If they win 1 more map, they go through nice and easy. They secure the W. If Right Turtle win, we may be seeing a map 3. Do you think we'll be seeing a map 3?
Oh, 100%. I absolutely do. And with that being said, we could very well be bringing map 3 to you, but we're going to be taking a quick break. Don't go anywhere. We will be back with some more Rogue Company Championship Series coming at you right here.
And we are back with the Rogue Company Championships Showdown, RCCS versus Right Turtle. And after a game 1 where RCCS took the first map, we will be moving into map number 2. And we got to see what adjustments Right Turtle are going to make. We know they have good fraggers. We know that MS and Drew specifically are great with their gunplay. But we have to see how they adapt going into this, as it looks like we're going into Palace as our map of choice. So, Atsoka, what are you feeling as we move into Palace? What do you think the small adjustments that need to be made on the side of Right Turtle are to change this and get to a map 3?
Honestly, they need to work on their positioning. Right now, we saw Prosper with nearly pitch-perfect positioning every single time. And then we saw it a little bit coming from Drew and MS as well, but it was kind of a give and go. They would have it right on one round, and then the next round, they would be in the wrong place at the wrong time, or they were just a little bit too repetitive, and then, of course, Arial, Arise were able to kind of outthink them in that regard and then get an easy flank. So they really are going to have to watch how they position themselves, whereas Prosper, I feel like, was more often than not in the right position at the right time. They didn't really have any too big of like a struggle finding the right place to be, whereas I felt like MS and then maybe Drew kind of found themselves out of position once or twice, and they were punished for it by Joker and Arial Arise. So again, it's just going to have to really come together and maybe a little bit more communication from the sides of Right Turtle, so that way they can get better positioning, because we already know heading into Palace, positioning plays a huge role.
I would 100% agree. I do think positioning was the thing that let Right Turtle down. I think their gunplay was fine. I think the way they communicated with each other was great. But again, I think they were just a map that's as big as Windward. You have to be positioning very close together in a 3v3 situation to make sure you'll stay alive. And you see Palace swooping over. This is another big map with 3 lanes that are split very far apart on the horizontal, which means, very similar to Windward, splitting up a lot might put you at a pretty big disadvantage as they go into this. And we'll see if it will be RCCS or Right Turtle who will be making better adjustments for that. I do remember Drew on this map at the end of the last LAN was a bit of a monster and almost clutched it up in the grand finals. But we'll see if they've adapted from this and how they'll be playing here as he picks up the Fixer once again. And I really like this pick from him on this map specifically, more so even than Windward, because there's a lot more you can play around, a lot more angles you can play around, smoke out and move up positioning with. Other than that, we're seeing very, very similar comps coming out. Double Glimpse, Double Dahlia, and a Chark there once again for Joker. As they're moving for aggressive pushes, the smoke comes down, the pushes come through, the flash comes through, and now they're looking for something aggressive really far off the rip. And we'll see if they can actually make anything come of that, as Glimpse has gone invisible. Joker is getting hit a little bit by Drew. Looks stunned as he's got 3 people charging at him. He's just trying to stay alive. Nice little re-peek there. Drew finds Joker nice and quickly, but the Dahlia is like to come out. Never mind. He gets down again. Prosper the cover fire. Once again, Captain Ahsoka takes out another, and 94 damage. Securing that finally will be a round win for Right Turtle. Very similar to how we saw it the first time. They got hit with a lot of pressure, recovered it very well, cover firing came through, and they secured the first round win.
Yeah, and not only that, but we were talking about positioning, especially heading on Palace, because not only is positioning important, but you have the multi-layers of Palace. You can get up on the buildings, you can get up right here on the balcony, and we could see that it was Drew with the perfect positioning. When they needed to fall back, they did. They came back in order to solidify the knocks on the chalk, and then, of course, getting the damage done there in the middle, and then really just calling out one hit. And I'm not talking, oh, random teammates in ranked, oh, he's one hit. No, that was literally a one hit. So it was Drew really leading the pack there in round number 1 for Right Turtle.
Yeah, absolutely. I thought it was a very, very good start by Drew. He was putting a lot of pressure, as I said, but managed to keep his cool and stay alive. As now Prosper and EMS are playing together. This is what I like. I like they're playing together. They split up a lot last time on Windward. Maybe that's the adjustment. Maybe they're playing together, and that is what I want to see come out of them. As a little bit of a slower push coming out for Arial Rise. Maybe try and go towards A. In fact, they see Nash there. He cleared it out with the Glimpse passive, and now has good control over A. And we're going to see how the I'm assuming a retake comes in. Joker was rotating over there. He had the bomb as always on Chark. And now we see a nice tight unit from right toe move around the back of the Palace site here and try and get down. Bomb has just gone down, and we'll see how this retake happens as they're pushing forward right now. Drew about to pop ability. We'll see. Never mind, just peeks the angle. I love this adjustment. He decided not to use the ability he could have there, but now he still has his own smoking ability if he wants to make a different kind of push.
Yeah, if you're playing as the fixer, you're not going to use your ult right away on someone else's smoke. You're going to use it on your own. And that's exactly what we saw come out from Drew. And now Prosper there and lurking on the way is MS, trying to get that peak damage, manages to get a lot, but doesn't get the knock. And now there will go the knock on the Chalk, and they found the glimpse. Gets the haymaker punch to put him in the dirt to make it hurt. And once again, another knock on Chalk. MS is absolutely popping off, is now going to hunt after this. Dahlia will pick up the elimination and get the defuse to get another round win for Right Turtle.
What a great round. You said it last map, and I'll say it again here. Drew took round 1, EMS took round 2. Just one player stepping up very, very high. And as I said to you throughout the whole of this, and especially at the start, they have two very, very good fraggers, two of the best just gunplay-oriented players here in this LAN event. Drew and EMS, demons on the sticks, and they're proving it right here. Drew in round 1, EMS in round 2, and Prosper's just the glue that holds them together as he's their IGL, keeps them in line, says, hey, push this, push that, and they're just going for it really, really smoothly, and putting a very good start to this Palace match. Clearly haven't lost their composure after a very close but unfortunate loss in round 1 for Right Turtle.
And you know what's also interesting when we're talking about Palace is that for a lot of these maps, we say, oh, this map's really defensive-sided, this map is really offensive-sided. When it comes to Palace, is there really a one-sided venture over the other, or is the bomb plant pretty mid?
I would say it kind of depends on how they decide to play it. Very similar to Windward, you can choose on a defensive side to be aggressive or defensive. A lot of other maps force you as a defender to be defensive because they have so much advantage on the attacking side. Palace doesn't seem like one of those. You can really split the map. It is so big, so you can be sneaky. But there's a glimpse battle here, and it will be Nash getting taken down so quickly by EMS with the covering fire from Possible as well. Again, that's just glimpse passive versus glimpse passive. They're timing it, getting the pings, and the moment that EMS saw the ping come out, they knew where he was. Unfortunately, Drew does get taken down there on the side. Now we're sitting in a straight 2v2 as the nades come down. Nice nade coming in from Prosper. Little hook, line, and sinker as it jumps over the top, and Dade not able to res him just yet.
Absolutely. I got to say, that was honestly scary to see Chalk come out not only with their sub, but also picking up the sniper from that fixer elimination. And now we can see MS going up high to get the final elim, but they're going to get the revive on the Dahlia as well to get a little extra chunk of change.
Gotta get the money,
exactly. A little extra econ as they will get the defuse on top and will go up 3-0 over Arial Arise.
Yeah, that was very, very well played. EMS again, once again, just putting in a very dominant performance. Even his movement there, and it's so subtle, but you guys at home, I'll explain a little bit. The way he just jumped up on the box, he almost like skips the jump. We see here, this is a play against Nash. Just use the invisibility. Nash has a disadvantage there of being invisible at the time when EMS is not. So when he pops that invisibility, EMS has the advantage. But his movement was just really clean there, jumping up to kill. Peace Story there on the Dahlia as well, just using the double jump movement that is available in the game. Again, these are the sort of advanced mechanics that these guys know so well and put into practice here on the main stage for you guys at home to be impressed by. And they've just done a fantastic job in these first 3 rounds, really took it home with some real surety, honestly. There's been pretty dominant performances in the entire 3 rounds here, but we'll see what switch up can be made by Arial Rise as they move towards this B side of the map and they're going to try and get a nice plant down. See if they can pick off Drew once again. The flashbang comes out. Drew can't see. We'll see if he can get the kill from it.
Yeah, and again, we've seen Drew pop off on that position before, and already we can see the elimination coming down on top of Drew as they will get knocked, and now we see Peace Story with a pretty good angle, but will be forced to come down off of the perch to once again find that fixer, and now getting the elimination on Prosper as well as we find ourselves back into that 2v1 scenario, but it won't last long. Arial Arise will take their first win here on Palace.
Yeah, I definitely think they needed that for just a little bit of a morale, confidence boost going into that, but they had a really good setup there post-plant. They got the kills they needed, they pushed forward, and they just had a good post-plant setup, and that's kind of what you need sometimes on Palace. Is it's not the hardest way to get the bomb down, but having a good post-plant, holding that post-plant, especially if you get a pick like they did with the utility here, is very, very important. And I think utility definitely helped them win the round here, and we'll see if they can keep utilizing that utility in the same way moving into this. But yeah, 1-3 now in favor of Right Turtle, but maybe this is the momentum that Arial Rise needed to bring us a bit closer going into the half.
Now, again, this is just my opinion on Palace, but earlier on when we saw Arial Arise really tried to go for that mid lane push, they got insanely punished. Palace, I just don't think is a map for that mid lane. I think it's easy punish. I think you're going to get, really taken advantage of if you try to push it too hard, and we know Arial Arise loves to push insanely hard. They love to be aggressive. So again, I like that they're starting to make more dedicated pushes towards the A or B site, as this time we see the bomb has in fact been planted, and now Joker is going to be holding up right on top of it, trying not to take any damage here, and also Nashik as well, going to be taking cover behind the wall, looking up top, sees that Dahlia, and points them out, so now they have a lot more intel to work with, as nearly Joker was able to get the knock, but the finish will come through from P-Story, and we have ourselves a 3v2.
Yeah, that was absolutely really well done. The Mamba on P-Story there. Wait, the Res kept... Wow. That was almost so close there, what just happened. They got some very, very clutch reses off there, and those DMRs came through so well for Right Turtle. It did happen to be Arial Rise who clutched up there with just the numbers advantage on that 3v2, but I can't take away from the way Right Turtle just played that. They kept themselves alive and got those picks down and trades down really well. That was actually a very, very close round, when it maybe shouldn't have been, after how quickly P-Story got a knock onto Dahlia, and then another full kill onto the Glimpse. So that was very well played by both teams. As I said, 3-2 now, going into the half. One more round on the side of Arial Rise. Will tie it up once again. We'll see if they'll get it, or whether Right Turtle can regain the momentum they had in the first 3 rounds and take it 4-2.
Well, here we go. We are getting ready to get round 6 underway, as already we see some pre-fire coming out. Not a lot happening, maybe a little bit of poke damage, but nothing doing there. As once again, we can see Drew getting back into position, not going up on the catwalk this time. They're going to stay below, and they're not going to take any early damage. They're going to take things nice and slow here, as Joker is going to once again be making their way towards the mid lane, but not going for the full push. Nobody showing their hands just yet. A lot of big brain plays coming out as Drew once again is just creeping along the staircase of that catwalk.
Yeah, and I think his adjustment in positioning right there was really, really good. He's been picked a few times sitting back there on that balcony, and he's just moved over. He doesn't want to get flashed, doesn't want to get naded. He wants to stay alive and be there with his team as they push, because he has been the one to go down at the start of these rounds a lot more. And we even saw that on Windward again. Not necessarily always is it mispositioning, but sometimes it's just they focus him so hard, and he needs to be able to get out, and his change in positioning there will allow him to do that, and that small adjustment can be the difference between him staying alive and him dying. So glad that he's made that adjustment, and now he's there with the team as they have moved towards the A site. There will be Emes taking the first pick out onto Nash. Glimpse v Glimpse once again. Seems like Emes feels pretty confident there on that Glimpse going in against Nash's Glimpse here, which I like a lot. But now it's 3v2. That'll be Prosper taking down another, and it's just down to P-Story, but P-Story will not be able to stay alive long enough, as 4-2 is the round count going into the second half. Emes standing up, looking over the monitors through the glass at his opponents and being like, hey, do I see you? Do I see you? Yes, I do, and I got you down that round. This is my map on Palace, and I like the energy coming through here.
You know what else I'm liking? I am really digging that Rogue RCCS tournament jersey over there on Drew. Ever since Drew put the jersey on, they've been playing a whole lot different. I think there's some power in that RCCS jersey, making it look good and doing exceptionally well on the scoreboard. And with that being said, they are going up 4-2 in the half, like you said, and it's going to be interesting to see how they change things up, going from the defensive side to now the offensive side, which honestly I think they have a pretty good advantage, because we know Arial Arise is a more offensive-heavy team. So now they're really kind of on the back foot here. And going into the second round on Palace, I'm really going to be looking towards Right Turtle to step up their offense.
Yeah, and it's interesting how the rogues have changed on the side of Right Turtle. They haven't. Drew's back on the fixer, Emes on the Glimpse, and Prosper on a signature Dahlia. He's been playing that for a very long time. Prosper loves playing on Dahlia. He's done that almost since she came out, almost like a year and a half ago at this point, so he's very comfortable on that Rogue. The small change up we do see, though, is we do have the Ronin now available for our defensive side, which again, we saw it on Windward, we saw the switch up, and I like it just because it keeps you off of the intel there from the Glimpse, and that Glimpse intel can be really, really valuable. It's really like overrated, or so underrated in how valuable it can be, but these comp players know how good it is. That's why you saw Nash alone so much, is because he was just pushing down one side of the map and just waiting for pings. He's just trying to see, who's here? What pings have I got? Who's going to be around here? And can I get intel for my team? That is what Glimpse is being used for at this high level, and it's actually what we see coming out here, as it'll be an A push for our attackers. The smoke comes down. Will Drew pop the ult ability? He doesn't hear anyone, doesn't see anyone. No pings from MS, so he's going to save it and see what he can do here instead with that ability, as they do see them coming around the back. There's a few of them out of position there. We'll see if Drew can get these picks or not as Semtex is trade. That'll be Nash going down, Emes going down. Both glimpses off the map right now. And we'll see how the rest of this continues as Drew does get picked off from the top rooftop there. One thing that we didn't see a lot in the first half, though, that I want to point out now, is the rooftop usage. We didn't see a lot of that really on the first half, necessarily coming out from either team, but I think we'll see it a lot now, especially if this team of Right Turtle move around the A side of the map a little bit more. Joker saying hey once again to the other team. I like the team interaction. Gives us a little cheeky look at the camera as well.
Oh, yeah, that's only one hallway separating these two teams and some transparent glass. So, again, they could definitely see each other popping off there, giving the nice little cheeky waves, throwing up the chops. I absolutely love it. A good bit of healthy attitude here at the RCCS, the Rogue Company Championship Series, and I'm here all for it as we get ready to head into round number 8. Keep in mind, Right Turtle are still up 4-3.
Yeah, they have that round advantage coming in from their first half. A really good performance there, and we'll see again how they adjust it, how they move. Glimpses trade out really early. That was a very close round, so we'll see if that was a premonition of how the rest of this is going to go, or whether that was just one bad round there for Right Turtle that just went slightly over in the scales towards Arial Rise, or whether that was a little prediction of how the rest of this is going to go. But we'll see as Drew is now back on the sniper, LR-15 full body in hand, and we'll see if he can get some of those headshots that we saw so nicely come from Turner earlier on in the day.
Oh, here we go. And once again, that positioning that we talked about coming from Drew, being able to get not one but 2 shots down and an elimination on the Dahlia. But Glimpse goes down as well, but they have the Dahlia link to get that Glimpse back up and into the fight. But right now, Drew putting on quite a show with those sniper shots as now Prosper is going to get into the mix, and there will be the final elimination. Once again, we see 3 up and 3 down. Right Turtle take another round.
Very, very well done. 5-3 now coming in for Right Turtle. Again, we said this. Great covering fire. That is what the difference coming in here. Prosper had Drew's back. Drew was in a very bad position there. It was a great jump up from the enemy team to peek over and almost get him down. But here's Prosper on that covering fire. That's the reason Drew didn't go down right there. Is because of Prosper staying up. He also rezzed Emes there on the other side. And that's the reason they were able to take that round. Again, positioning is key. When they've got good positioning, when Prosper's in the right spot to cover his teammates, they're winning these rounds. When they're slightly out of position, that's when we're seeing the fall of Right Turtle here and the rise of Arial Rise in these rounds. So we'll see how they get down here. I do like the Drews on the sniper now. I think he prefers that much more in this post-plant setup. He had to opt for the DMR when he was having to push on a retake. Now he can sit back on whatever angle he wants, control the map with that full body. And he's doing really, really well with it so far as the Ronin knife is being held here. I always like it when Ronins hold their knives out. I've always felt they're going to try something cheeky, put it somewhere they shouldn't, as it's now 1v1. Emes taking down 2! Wow! Emes taking down not only P-Story, but also Nash in the trade. They're surviving the onslaught of grenades. There was a res that came out, and we'll see how they push forward here, as it will be P-Story v Emes. Emes only with a pistol, and the clock punch. 1-2. Emes standing, and he is saying, this is my map. I am the king of Palace. I am the Shogun, if we're going to go with Japanese history here. Very, very well done there, moving in there from MS. He just has such great control, and he got a 1v2 in that situation as well. That's impressive.
I don't know why, but watching a kill end off with the punch, with the haymaker, just hurts a little bit extra. Being able to get all that health off using the pistol and then ending it off with a haymaker to the face, I don't know, something about it, it just has a little extra sting.
It does, and you know what my favorite part is? When you're playing, when you're doing that, the small adjustment to hit your D-pad or hit your paddle that binds to that just feels so quick. It's just, the animation is so smooth when you go from like a 96 damage shot on the Sahara, for example, into a quick punch. It feels so smooth, it looks so good, and obviously translates so well to us here in the casting booth, and you guys at home, I'm sure, as well, as they're moving 6-3 in favor of Right Turtle. They did lose map 1, but they're looking to take map 2 here, unless Arial Rise can really change the pace of things. He gets the ping off there onto Nash. We know he's invisible somewhere. It could be down below, could be on the roofs, as he is going to try and trade so close, but Emes will go down. That will be traded by Prosper, and now we're sat with both Glimpses dead and no res available for the side of Right Turtle, because he was linked to the Glimpse. Unfortunately for Arial Rise, on the other side, they're linked to the Ronin, who is still alive. So that's the difference as we go into this 2v2. But Ronin or Fixer, what's going to be more important here? Is Drew's snipe going to matter, or will the Ronin and the Link be more valuable? We will find out as the 50 seconds of this round count down.
I don't know, with the way Drew has been playing, I'm really thinking it's going to come down to the Fixer, because keep in mind, they still have their ult, and they still have a smoke cluster there and ready to go. And don't get me wrong, Ronin's dagger, you know, is definitely something to be afraid of. But at the same time, Drew has just been playing exceptionally well with that fixer and with the sniper rifle as well. As we can see, the flank trying to come through for Arial Arise, but it's Prosper who's seen it coming a mile away and is able to get the knock literally by the Achilles heel and will put that elimination down as we can only see the Dahlia that remains for the side of Right Turtle. It is a 1v1, and there will be the finish on that fixer. As we can see, it will be P-Story versus Prosper.
And that was so you spoke about the fixer versus the Ronin Knife. Ronin Knife won that. That is why Drew is down right now, and 1v1's coming down. I say we have another 15 seconds left on that bomb time, and Prosper just needs to stay alive. If he can stay alive another 8 seconds, I think he wins this almost regardless, but P-Story is going to push up on him. Can he see him? He didn't check the corner. Prosper didn't see him! Didn't get the kill, but is there enough time on the bomb? We'll find out. P-Story can't get it in time! And it was so close, but Right Turtle taking map 2, 1-1 in the series. Emes standing. Now that, Captain Ahsoka, that was a close round if I have ever seen one here in Rogue Company.
How did Prosper not see literally the Ronin just coming around the side? At first I thought, oh, you know, the Ronin didn't see them. They were hidden away. But the Ronin was there in plain sight, and Prosper still could not see them. That was absolutely insane. Nothing short of nuttery buttery. And I gotta say, as we get ready to head into a game number 3, you called it earlier.
Yep.
You called it. We're getting another game 3 today.
I'm expecting so many game 3s coming out from this LAN event in total, honestly. These guys are playing so well, and I love that. I wonder whether Prosper was looking up to see if he heard him above, but we'll find out, and we'll find out soon as we move into map number 3 after this very short break. Welcome back to the Rogue Company Championship Series. I'm Radthar, once again joined by Captain Ahsoka as we're about to get into game number 3 of Arial Rise versus Right Turtle. Game number 1, we saw Arial Rise take the victory in a 6-7. Then on the flip side, as we moved into Palace for game 2, we saw Right Turtle have a pretty dominant lead with their players showing their fragging potential a little bit more. But now, Captain Ahsoka, we're going to be moving into map number 3, the Arena.
Yeah, this one's going to be interesting. We haven't seen this one so far during the RCCS, so it's going to be very interesting to see how these two teams adapt to the positioning like we've been talking about all day. Of course, in the beginning for Windward, we said that Right Turtle was really struggling with their positioning where Arial Arise really thrived. And then we went to Palace, and of course, players like Drew were able to position themselves pretty well. And then Prosper positioned themselves pretty randomly to where they couldn't be found until time was too late. So, once again, Arena, a completely different map than both Windward and Prosper. This is a much more close quarters map, so once again, it's going to be interesting to see how the positioning will change as well as we get ready to head into our first match and our ban picks.
What I like about this map was slightly different from what we've seen from both Palace and Windward, which I think was the first time we saw them today in the series. If I'm not mistaken, it might be, but what I like about this map is all maps normally are 3 lanes. For the most part, maps in Rogue Company and other games are 3 lanes. You have your A side, your mid side, and then your B side. With Arena, it's slightly different where you have A side and then B side and then this sort of weird outside lane. It's kind of how it plays a little bit more. If anything, it's like a 4-lane map, but they're very, very short lanes. You said very, very close quarters map. And as we see the rogue picks coming down, we have Fixer coming from both sides. Dahlia once again from both sides, but the Ronin and the Fixer difference moving into here. And Arena, so it's going to be an interesting map to see how they play. There's a lot of rotation importance and a lot of just fighting happening, just some sheer fighting in the map that is very important to control. Is it attacking heavy or is it defensive heavy? Personally, I give my preference over to the defensive side, but it does depend on how they play it and how the attackers play it as well.
Honestly, what I'm going to be looking at is these two fixers. This honestly isn't the map I would suspect to see the fixers really come out into full rotation, but we can see both teams really picking up that fixer pick, and honestly, it's going to be those smoke grenades that it's going to make all of the difference. Because remember, in the previous match, Drew was doing some work, and they had the advantage of having that fixer, having the thermal goggles, and it was Arial Arise who fell short. They couldn't combat it, so that's why I think they're matching Drew this time around and bringing their own fixer to the fight.
Yeah, and I mean, that makes a lot of sense. Fixing all those rogues that you kind of have to pick as well, because the advantage you get by seeing through smoke in those situations needs to be and can only really be countered by that reveals or by an EMP. EMP is currently not available by any players here on the map. They haven't picked the rogues that can use them. Intel rogues, they haven't picked any of those either. So what's your other option? You have to pick the Fixer. And see that come down. See MS actually going on the Fixer this time. So Drew is not on the Fixer. And we see Nash on the Fixer as well, doing the little change up. So a bit of a change on who's on who this time, as Drew is opted for the Ronin, felt very comfortable on that on Windward, and then I wanted to bring that here forward onto this map as well.
And here we can already see a whole lot of fire exchange coming down from Fixer. Now, we got to keep in mind, I think Fixer, at least in my opinion, has the best sidearm pistol in the game. So they are able to deal a lot of damage. And here comes Prosper and the Ronin to come and just clean things up. And one thing I have to notice is that there are no glimpse picks this time around. We see MS now coming in with the Ronin and doing some work, all the while rocking that Rogue Company Championship jersey, looking oh so fresh.
Yeah, absolutely. What I love going around there, we saw it from Prosper's perspective as he rounded the corner there and saw Drew getting the final kill. We just see Drew bouncing up and down with the crouch spam. Such a great mechanic for the Spitfire, the fully auto pistol. Being able to weave that in there, the Spitfire gets a lot of criticism for the fact that it's a very low damage weapon, but it's actually one of my favorites because it is fully auto in the early stages of the rounds, and fully auto can be so valuable. Also, I don't expect we'll see him today. Cannon has his minigun as his ability early game, and that fully auto is so good on pistol rounds. That is kind of the same thing with the Spitfire for me, as I love the fully auto moving into this, but obviously now they have their main weapons. Mamba coming out for EMS, we have the Sahara coming out for Drew, and actually it looks like pistols pretty much across the board here, especially for Nash, from the side of RCCS as they move into round 2. They did take a pretty heavy loss, not on any trades, so their economy is not in a position to have the weaponry they might want, and that puts you at a very big disadvantage.
Yeah, and this, again, is what we were talking about when it kind of feels like there's a 4-lane push. Here, you know, you can see where that kind of comes into play because you have all these covers, all these barriers between yourselves and the enemy team. It really does feel like there's an extra lane there, and right now we can see Joker really taking advantage, being able to use all the cover in sight to really kind of guide their way over to that site and being able to get the bomb down as well. So now they have a little bit of advantage here as the crossfire will come through, and we can see MS trying to drop back and will get the knock on the chalk. There you have it. Joker will be the first one down here in round number 2.
Yeah, absolutely. Again, great crossfire. They're in a pretty rough position there, being stuck very far back, but great covering fire, angle checks from everybody, kept the enemies at bay, and that'll be now a 3-man rush as they try and find the remaining Dahlia, and so they get this defuse down, but that will be P-Story taking down 1, almost taking down 2. Prosper on 4 HP. That would have been very close. And I also want to mention here, as they go for the defuse, the difference in the links. Of course, on the side of RCCS, they have the Chuck, so who's Dahlia going to link to? The Chuck. But on the side of Raito, they don't have anything like that available. They don't have anyone that needs to keep alive, so they've chosen to keep MS alive on the Fixer by linking to him instead. Also, you've got to remember, Dahlia gets the passive of the person she links to, and Fixer's passive slows enemies when he hits them with bullets. So put that on a Dahlia as well. I mean, that's pretty good. Slowing your enemies, keeping them easier to track as you move through, and just also annoying them by the fact they can't move as fast is definitely very beneficial. And there's no intel, as we mentioned, so why link to the Ronin? There's no real need. Let's keep the Fixer alive. Let's keep him there. And I like that choice coming out from them in terms of the links for the 2 Dahlias on either side here.
Well, here we go. We're getting round number 3 underway, and we can already see P-Story going down towards that B site again, using all the cover that is available to him, because on Arena there is a lot. And now MS is going to be lining up, playing peekaboo with the corners as Joker dealing a whole lot of damage, and we'll get the knock on Drew. Is now Joker is going to be holding on to that flashbang. Prosper now throwing out their util, not being able to get much done with that, as now we see ourselves once again in the 2v2. Let's make it a 2v1 as we see MS popping their ult, as they very well could have the advantage here. And now the crossfire comes out, and it will be Joker to hit the dirt again, but the res will come through, and Joker is back in the fight, but get knocked again.
So this is unfortunate for Joker, who's just trying to stay alive. The Dahlia res comes down for him, but it's not enough, and we're back at a 2v2 Dahlia Fixer v Dahlia Fixer. He's trying to stay alive, but that'll be EMS taking that chapter 1. EMS getting 4 downs to this one already in the round. He's putting down some work, but Prosper able to finish off. EMS is going crazy. He is feeling himself. He got so many downs there with the Mamba.
No,
he feels
no
it.
way! No, Leon! No, Leon! Oh my.
Hey, I appreciate the pop-off. I love it. MS, keep that same energy, but at the same time, you left my man Drew hanging. Drew was going up there for the dap and didn't get any. It's still a great time to see all of our players having fun in the booth, especially with the pop-offs, and they did tremendously that round. They did an excellent job, constantly getting knocked, constantly getting back into the fight. Some suffered and some prospered, but MS definitely came through and was able to get so much damage done on the board.
Absolutely. EMS doing some fantastic work there, just moving through. And he's got the Mamba. It's not a gun we've seen very much today being pulled out, but he's putting in some really good work with this burst DMR. And you can see they've all played up towards the A side. The grenade will hit him, but just about keep him alive. There's a flash coming out to Drew, who can no longer see or cover his teammates. Oh, but the Fixer all comes down, and EMS takes down Joker nice and quickly. Can he get him before the res comes out? Piso went for a manual res instead of a linked res. And that will get knocked down. EMS once again in a position to thrive. And he takes him down. Wow, they are cleaning them up there. That is impressive as they move there. This positioning onto Joker. Joker goes down, and we see this is the difference here. Piso runs for the manual res because he's not linked. And that is how MS is able to get another one. The nade comes out to get Nash as well. And this is looking very, very, very dominant as we go 4-0. On this side of the arena.
Yeah, this almost looks like an entirely different Right Turtle team, as they are just popping off in such a dominant fashion. And I even said it earlier, and I'll say it again, Fixer has one of the best sidearms in the game. So even when we saw MS had to switch from the Mamba over to the sidearm, it's like they didn't miss a beat. They were able to follow up with yet another knock. So as we get ready to head into this round number 5, we see that early elimination coming in from Drew. Off of the gun from Nash, and now we see MS having to fall back. Will pop the ult yet again to see through the smoke, and is able to live to fight another day.
Absolutely, and that was unfortunate. We did see the cross into that position, and the comm did come out from EMS, but I don't think Drew quite completely got exactly where the enemy was coming from, and he was getting picked there, unfortunately. But as EMS getting another down onto Nash, as now they're just going for the fight. EMS goes down. I haven't seen that happen in a while, I'm not going to lie there, Soka. But the reses will not quite land. Prosper able to take down Peace Story, and unfortunately, that will be all as the first round is taken for Arial Rise. EMS wipes his hand. He's been on the sticks. They're getting sweaty because he is getting sweaty as he tries to take down the entire side of Arial Rise by himself with that Mamba. And I'm not going to lie, he's having some good success with it.
Now you see, this round is going to be important for both teams. One, because more often than not, you're going to head into a 4-2 split if they have. Right now, that's what Arial Rise is looking for, because that's what they're familiar with. They have no problem coming back from the 4-2 split at the half. But right now, if you're on the side of Right Turtle, you have got to solidify that win. You have got to go in with that 5-1 split towards the half, because you are going to need it against Arial Rise. So this is going to be a huge round.
So you want every single round you could possibly get. Normally, we say 5-1s are very hard to recover for here in Rogue Company in terms of the team who's down. But we saw it from Rome's Bandits earlier. They were down 5-1 on Hollows. They swept it back around. So, hey, I'm not counting anything out this LAN. We have seen game after game go 6-6. And, hey, even though there's a big advantage coming right now for Right Turtle, we could see another one come down. We do not know, as MS with the padded steps there on the Fixer is getting on a flank. And this is a very, very good pinch position. If they don't know he's there, this is going to be in big trouble. And it's going to be down to whoever spots EMS out to get it, but that will not be it. Joker goes down. The res will be coming out as he now throws the smoke. They have to collapse on him. They have to get him. But Joker actually goes down. They don't get the res off, and Joker is full killed down there at the end. Prosper helps him take down Peace Story, and that's another round going down for Right Turtle as they move down into the half 5-1.
And I got to say, I honestly think they needed it, because even though Arial Rise aren't looking their best right now, they're looking at a 5-1 deficit. With that being said, they are a second half team. We've seen them go down in the half already in being able to make a tremendous comeback and take dubs and literally steal games away, not just here at LAN, but in the qualifiers as well. This is something that they continuously do time and time again. So like I said, that was a big win for Right Turtle as we get ready to head into the second half, and already we can see the picks coming out. MS is going to go back with the Fixer, and if it's not broken, don't fix it. Stay with the Fixer. You are doing tremendous. Keep that going, and again, that's only going to strike fear into Arial Rise, because again, they might be forced to get another Fixer pick as well, just to counteract MS.
Yeah, I mean, of course, you want the smoke there to counter that, but in terms of gunplay, EMS is just dominating the field right now. And see, they didn't even pick it up. They brought the glimpse out instead for Joker. Okay, so they're having a few swaps happening here. Drew, normally a player who sticks to certain rogues, sticks to his Ronin, sticks to his Fixer, now moving on to the Chuck. And I think this is a good adjustment. I think they recognize that EMS is the one who is pushing forward really hard here. They just need to keep Drew alive because he can do good damage when he gets position, when he gets the Spitfire, when he gets his SMGs. But let's keep MS doing what he's doing. Let's change the Dahlia link over to the Chark because EMS didn't need it. Let's keep Drew alive, keep him in position, and move forward there. I like the adjustment as well to move to a glimpse. I think that's going to be really beneficial for them. But is it too little too late? As it's 5-1 now for Right Turtle. They're looking to take this series, but we'll see what RCCS. You seem to be a champion for RCCS here, Captain, and I don't blame you. They put on some very good performances.
Hey, I'm a champion of good games. That's all I'm a champion of. I want to see every game go 6-6. So that's what I'm a champion of. As we can see already, Drew taking out that trophy system, getting rid of that very early. And as we can see already, the util starting to come in as Drew very sneakily. What did they call that earlier? A little bit of duck walking over there towards that A site as they are looking to get that plant down early. But the smoke will come out as well. And now they are going to activate the ult for the Fixer, looking for that lone player there, but can't find any. They were able to get out of dodge and avoid the damage.
Yeah, absolutely, and they've moved down really, really well here. They've got the bomb down, got good positioning. There was nobody on the A side to contest them, so there was no fight happening yet. But on the side of RCCS, that does mean that some util was wasted for Right Turtle as it does go down there with that Semtex. Can EMS get back up and do something? We'll see right now. He tries to keep his head as low as possible. Can't quite find Peace Story as two members of Right Turtle are down already. The chart gets revived. Drew, very low HP, just trying to stay alive in a 1 versus 3 situation. Do they know where he is? Do they know what's going to happen? We don't know. He can see the bomb. This could be a clutch play coming out from Drew as he moves to the chart for the first time. We've seen him so far in LAN. Will he move for it? How will they play together? And they are on the glimpse doing the defuse. He can't see that glimpse. Can go invisible for her defuses, and that is why he went for it. Found some good shots on it nonetheless, but not quite enough, and it'll be RCCS taking the first round of this half.
Now, you see, the reason that I think that round, not even the reason, but one of the things that stood out to me really is that we really just saw where the Spitfire can be lacking. In a position like that, the Spitfire is not going to do much for you. You got too much range between you and the bomb, and you have too many players in your way. Now, don't get me wrong, maybe something like, you know, the revolver coming from the Dallas might have been able to do a little bit extra, but unfortunately, we just saw one of the instances where the Spitfire is lacking. So that's not really on the fault of Drew. It's just what is to be expected going into those pistol rounds as we get ready to head into this round number 8.
And honestly, doing 54 damage from that range with the Spitfire on an invisible target that you can't even see, you know, props. He did all he could there. He really put in the effort. We'll see how the adjustment happens from Right Turtle here to stay alive and not put him back in that position. And keep things moving a little bit more smoothly as it did in the first half of this game, as it will be a nice push coming out from Drew, taking down Joker. That will be traded by Peace Story as Drew goes down. EMS, Prosper, good cover over the side, and now we're just waiting for the res. Can they find the glimpse in time? They can find the glimpse, and 6-2 for Right Turtle. They're feeling it. He's looking at us. EMS looked over, they're feeling it. 6-2 is the scoreboard right now as they move into potential final round of this series.
Honestly, I think it's just a momentum shift at this point. Right now, we're seeing Right Turtle have so much momentum and morale on their side, I really don't think they can be stopped at this point. Not to say that it's not possible, I just don't think it's probable. Arial Arise just had the weapon advantage, and they couldn't capitalize on it. Once again, MS was able to use the Fixer to its fullest potential and take the team out with just the pistol. So again, I just think this match might be too far gone, but Arial Arise could still make a comeback here. This could very well be the last match if Right Turtle play it correctly.
Absolutely, and hey, we've seen a lot of things happen in Rogue Company, so a comeback here would not be out of the box, but maybe as Joker gets taken down so quickly there with the sight. He's invisible, but they still find him. They track him down. He is dead, full killed, and that is going to be now 3v2. It's not looking good for RCCS as Prosper and co here and Right Turtle are looking very strong. Nash does find one, does find EMS, but that's a good follow-up from Drew to get the kill on there. Can he get another one? He's going for it, and that's Peace Story going down to Drew, and that will be the win for for Right Turtle. We hear them. They're celebrating in the booth. They are happy with how all of that went down. They should be. Right Turtle taking down the series 2-1 in map count, but a very dominant performance on their 2 wins. And actually, honestly, out of everything we've seen here today at LAN, that was the most dominant performances coming out from the winning team. We've seen so many 6-6s, so many 7-6s, so many 5-7s. But that was one of the few times we've seen just a lot of dominant rounds coming in there, and that arena match, probably the most of them all.
Absolutely, and we already know that was a huge win for Right Turtle. And we were talking about, the top contending teams, who's going to be the top 1, top 2, top 3. No one mentioned Right Turtle. Nobody was making that call. So it's not unfair to say that this was a little bit of upset going against Arial Arise, who already had a fantastic game today against one of the top contending teams, one of the top seeded teams being Bulletproof. I don't think anybody expected Right Turtle to come in and absolutely dominate on one of the teams that we know is one of the biggest contenders here.
Yeah, well, I mean, for the first time here on the main stage, they definitely put up a fantastic performance, and they should be very proud of it. But I want to head to the desk now with Dawson and Heartbreaker to see what they thought and analyze this breakdown of that match.
That's right, Right Turtle able to grab themselves the win over a very, very competitive team in Arial Arise. Arial Arise now have played all 3 best-of-3 sets today, and all of the individual games in those sets feel like they dragged on, except for this one, where Right Turtle, Heartbreaker are able to take it. I wonder if by the end there, Arial Arise getting hit with a little late day fatigue.
Steam.
You know, I mean, you played a really lengthy best-of-3 earlier on that goes the distance. This one goes pretty long. Right Turtle just had their number.
Yeah, well, to be fair, and to kind of counter what Atsuka was saying,
Sure.
Right Turtle is a team that you want to look at coming into this.
Absolutely.
Now, you had Prosper, as you know, very well-versed and playing on LAN, competing with the best players in the world. Drew was one of, if not the best player at the previous Row Company LAN. This is a lineup that is capable of definitely coming here, dealing damage, and even winning, to be fair. Like, I think they are in contention. They are a very good team, and we can see it with the plays that we're witnessing here. EMAS might have had a question mark. Plays from EU, didn't come to the last LAN, has definitely played on LAN, however, over in Europe, and now he's saying, well, I'm here, I'm in America, and I'm ready to slay out. I mean, they did that. They put up a huge performance against a team that is very, very strong.
And this, as far as the main stream today, I haven't been able to keep up quite as well with the secondary stream. This is the most lopsided individual map we've seen today, I think. Maybe we got a 7-3 earlier on that ended up a 7-5, something like that. Yeah, at any rate, this was the most lopsided individual map that we got. And I loved the energy that I saw out of the Right Turtle booth, right? I mean, when you're lined up across from the team and you're starting to feel yourself a little bit, I think that building on energy there, Prosper seems to have a cool head. Drew just trying to stay in it, MS popping off. I think this is a team that can really feed off one another.
Oh, absolutely. I love the chemistry they have. They're a fun group. Like, they're a group that if they're hitting shots, they're joking, they're playing around. I know Drew also has family here. He's got a sister, a mom. Like, they're actually here in Georgia to watch, and I think that's amazing. So he's definitely rolling with it, and it carries that momentum.
Awesome. And it's awesome to see for this Right Turtle squad. We've already gotten 3 matchups underway so far here today. 3 more to round things out. So we are halfway done officially today. So if you love Road Company competitive, don't worry. We've got a lot more to go. Broken up, of course, into Pool A and Pool B. We're just going to be ping-ponging back and forth all day today. Right Turtle versus Arial Arise were the top 2 teams over there in Group A. And so Right Turtle grabbing that win, giving themselves a fantastic advantage over in Group A. Certainly a strong look for them. We'll jump to Group B later on. Blackhand up against Rome's Bandits. So Rome's Bandits, another chance here on the main stage. I look at this matchup as maybe one that we could see later on in this tournament, right? I think from what I've gathered that this Right Turtle versus Arial Arise, Heartbreaker is potentially 2 teams that are expected to make a good run.
Oh, there's no doubt. If one of them is missing on Sunday, it would be a surprise. Like, they are definitely expected to be 2 of the teams that should compete at the top spot. There's 1 or 2 others where to say they can make it to Sunday. How far is another question, because there's definitely some more competition. But no doubt, they have experience. They definitely mesh well together, and I mean, they're here to play. They're some of the best players online. They're bringing it to LAN.
Arial Arise will bounce back from a loss like this, surely. But one of the most, if not the most emotive players over on Right Turtle was MS there in that game, and he is standing by now for the post-game interview.
Well, as we've just said, I'm here with MS. Hit me up, bro. What a series. Before we get into it, have you got any words to say? Because you were really characteristic.
I'm just going crazy, like,
Literally.
it's insane. I love my team, like, that's insane. I'm just
Have you got any words for Arial and Rise before I give you my questions? Have you got anything to say to that team? They play well. Have you got any trash talk? Now's the time.
I mean, yeah, they were playing like really well,
Yeah.
especially on the first map. We should won, but we did a lot of mistake, and yeah, they were playing for it as well. So yeah, it's insane. And about us, we played it good, like really good, especially on the last map with the fixer. We were going crazy.
Absolutely.
And Prosper was like, try something, do that, and I was just popping off. So I'm so glad, I'm so proud of our team.
Yeah, you did so well. But let's break it down, right? Windward. Talk
Yeah.
about that last round on Party Box when
Yeah.
everyone was dying and trading. What were you thinking at that point? Because you were invisible, right? And you were trying to get the res
Yeah.
off, and they killed you whilst
Yeah.
you're invisible. That must have been crazy, right?
Yeah, I was like, what the fuck is happening? We lost because.
Find the language.
Yeah, we lost because of the communication. I was like, they were pushing you, and Drew was like going back, and then they still raising him. So yeah, that was weird.
Really hitting his shots, trying to do it right. But let's just jump straight to that last map. You played Fixer, my
Yeah.
favorite rogue. You didn't snipe, which is one of my rules.
Yeah.
You must snipe when you're Fixer. But the Mamba came out, right?
Yeah,
you
the
went
Mamba.
crazy with the Mamba. Why the Mamba instead of the Deadeye? Just for the people at home.
I don't know. I feel just better with the Mamba.
Okay.
Like you can flank, you can win gunfight in every situation. Because with the Deadeye, if someone is pushing you, like that's hard to aim. With the Mamba, you can do everything. You can flex.
And you really proved it, man. Like,
Yeah.
you were pushing first with Fixer. You didn't need them to go first behind you. All you needed was your Darling Link Prosper,
Yeah.
and you got that every single time, right?
Yeah.
Unbelievable gameplay. And any last words from you before we have to cut off to a break?
Just thank you to everyone. Thank you to my team. Thank you to my family. I know they were watching. I heard like you said about Drew. They were watching as well. So I'm just proud.
Well, that's it from the People's Champs MS. Thank you so much for that
Thank you.
gameplay. It was absolutely phenomenal. And now we're going to go to a short break before we get to the second half of today's gameplay.